All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday night live. What a time to be alive. Gold back to a new all-time high. We were watching this level so closely, we blast through $2,100 per ounce while we're watching Bitcoin pushing towards 41,000. I'm going to share out the stream real quick, let everyone know that we are live for the Sunday night session, but I appreciate everyone for stopping by. I'm super excited to run it up here tonight with you guys. Now, you guys already know the deal. Everything can be found at my website, zachrector.com. That is where all of our community resources are available, from our crypto exchanges, wallets, and including our precious metals affiliates as well. Whether you want to get it shipped directly to you or roll over that 401k retirement account, we can help you get it done. Now, we are live now, and I'm going to put out that tweet, and we're going to have ourselves a little party. Sunday night session. Thank you, and God bless all of you. What a time here in this timeline. A little bit of excitement as crypto's back up. Gold finally at a new all-time high. A little bit of action getting brought back into the space, brought back into the markets. And unfortunately, as I highlighted in the show that I did earlier today, the war front picking up once again. So the ceasefire that was for about, a week or so is now over. And we see that that's already picking up. And so we're going to be watching that situation continue to develop. But we're going to start this show by getting right on into the markets. It's going to be an exciting deal here. So right now, I'm starting up this live here, almost 8 o'clock here on the West Coast. That's 11 o'clock Eastern. The markets open up at about 5 p.m. Eastern Sunday. And they open up in Sydney, Australia. They open up in Asia. And they get rocking and rolling, and we are already taking off for gold, for Bitcoin, and for some other assets as well. I'm going to show you guys what we're working with here. Bitcoin almost up to 41,000. I was wondering if this thing was going to hit 41,000 while I was getting ready to fire up my live. So we're watching this one. This is your weekly chart all the way zoomed out until the November lows of last year. I want to give you guys perspective on how much we've risen just during this little run up. Okay. So typically in the traditional stock market, a 20% move one way or another determines whether we are, bullish or bearish. Well, I'm just going to show you guys what Bitcoin has done right here. Rough measurement right here, about 163%, 160%, depending on where you take it. Yeah, it looks like about 163, maybe a little bit more. That's just a rough guesstimate. About a 160% move. We compare that. It's about half of what Bitcoin did during the 2019 session, where we ran up 342% for Bitcoin before we got March 2020 simulation event killed. And so this is why I'm remaining cautious. I'm putting out my warnings. In today's session, I'm actually going to talk about the XRP timeline and what I expect. And this is going to be very important for the XRP community and the holders here. I'm going to share that XRP timeline with you guys at the end of this session after I share a couple new posts in regards to XRP and crypto digital assets. But to get started here, the movement that we're seeing in other coins is already making folks disappointed in XRP. Now we need to keep our eyes on the prize. We understand that what happened in the 2017 bull run is that all of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and these other cryptos had really ran up, and XRP did its thing basically in the last month of the bull run. So it pumped last, but it pumped the hardest, and the span was only about a week, from about 20 cents all the way up to $3.84. And when we see that, the crypto space is already starting to run up, it is front running. And the big what if is, how is crypto digital assets going to perform during a recession, during a moment in time when we're looking for the equities to correct? So that's what I'm watching for with this Fed pivot, is when the Fed starts to cut rates. As I pointed out in the episode earlier today, after that first rate cut is when the equities markets start to correct or go down. That's what I'm just being cautious of. That's what I'm looking forward to. And the big what if is what's going to happen to crypto. But the beautiful thing about having your bags packed is I get to go along for the ride. I put my seatbelt on. I'm I know it's not going to be smooth sailing, okay? I'm going to try not to spill my adult beverage, but we're going to enjoy the show. And we've taken off, without a doubt. but it's going to be a little bit bumpy along the way because the liquidity crisis is still going on. And we're still adjusting to the Fed taking the rates and raising them at the fastest pace in history from about 0% up to about 5%. So Bitcoin already up 160%. And we see Ethereum falling along up to 2,200 for ETH, and XRP was back above 63 cents, cooling off to about 62.7. Now, let me go back to Ethereum. I want to show you guys. This thing's been chopping sideways, went all the way down to about 1,077. Okay, that's what it did. Go back here, and actually, it did actually go lower right before that. See, it made a different move than Bitcoin did here. I want to measure this one for you guys here while we're taking a look at it. Rough measure, 153%. Same thing for Ethereum. Really incredible. Now let's go take a look at what XRP did. Well, XRP touched down at 30 cents in June of last year, and then we went down again in January of this year, down to about 30 cents. And we've gone all the way from 30 cents to $1. So this is the dangers of XRP, is that although we've gone up 225% there, right? We've came back down in a violent way as well. So just as fast as this thing can go up, it can go down. It hasn't been set free here since 2018 January, which once again, it was the 2017 bull run. Bitcoin topped out in December of 2017, and a month later, give or take a few weeks, about a couple weeks after that, is when XRP topped out at $3.84 from about 20 cents to $3.84 over the span of 1 month. So if you think you've seen something yet in the XRP community, and you weren't around for that bull run, we haven't seen much yet. We've seen little glimpses of what it can do. And I'll tell you what, I didn't start investing into XRP till 2018, started really going in heavily in 2019. But I first got into crypto in 2018 with my first investments in Bitcoin, of course. And when I started going into XRP and just watching this thing since then, the ability to crash all of the exchanges has always impressed me. It's happened multiple times with XRP. And this is something that I worry about going forward during the next bull run, is who is going to have liquidity when I want to sell a little sliver of XRP at $10, at $20, right? Who's going to have liquidity for me? And so I practice, and with our community, we talk about having our relationships with multiple exchanges so that we have multiple on-ramps and off-ramp when we're trying to get a trade done. You're already seeing the stable coins have been running up, big printing at Tether as of late, and that has coincided with the rally that we've had all year. It started at the beginning of this year at the Paxos Treasury printing Binance USD. Now you fast forward to December, basically November of this year, just about 10 months, 11 months later, Binance is settling up for $4 billion, and they're shutting down. They're no longer supporting BUSD. Now, if you recall back in January, I pointed out how that stablecoin was getting a rally going for Bitcoin. There's massive amounts of BUSD being printed at the Paxos Treasury. Now, in regards to other stablecoins, well, of course, look at Circle, look at Tether as of late, right? And the big black swan that I'm waiting for crypto still is the liquidity within these stablecoins to see if they're truly backed. And we're seeing exchanges like Binance go bust. We're watching other ones getting caught up in lawsuits. A fight is underway still in the cryptocurrency space. But without a doubt, the Wall Street boys and girls are coming, and they're going to be coming in a major way. And we're going to be talking about that later, with the institutional liquidity that's set to pour into this space being absolutely massive. And many folks suggesting that that's part of the run-up that we're experiencing now for crypto digital assets, right? But I don't want to focus all of our attention on crypto. As Peter Schiff says here tonight, I'm going to read off his tweet. Gold trading above $2,100 tonight for the first time in history is far more significant than Bitcoin trading above 40,000. Gold has completely broken out. It's in uncharted territory, while Bitcoin still needs to rally more than 60% from here just to make a new high. Now, Peter better be careful, because Bitcoin is set to go set a new all-time high during this coming bull run. I don't deny that. And I don't think that Bitcoin's, going to go set a new low. I just worry right now for the digital asset space that with the broader economy still facing some turbulence, that crypto is going to get pulled into that as well. And so when we take a look here, gold back above $2,100 today, and it topped off here at about $2,150 per ounce for our gold. Okay, so we've been watching that one. Definitely been watching that one. Finally, finally getting action. And it's so funny because I, of course, got crap. One of the many things that I get crap and haters come at me for is for shilling my precious metals partners and affiliates. Well, that's all they are, is affiliates. It's a resource for the community. And meanwhile, we're getting all this hate, we get all this flack, and it's like, well, just look at what's happening right now. To finally see some of these bets start to play out does feel good, but you have to understand we're still in the early innings. We're not investing in gold because we're thinking that, we want it to go to $2,200 per ounce. We're investing in gold because we're worried about going to 6,000 to 10,000 and beyond. We're not investing in XRP to see it go to a new all-time high of $4 or $5. We're here for XRP to put a dent in the universe and to move trillions of dollars on a daily basis, preferably. And, if that means a $50 XRP, that sounds good. If that means a 589, let's have even more fun. Let's change the world in an even bigger way. Let's have a bigger impact with the wealth that we're going to create. Now, I'm going to talk at the end of this session here about the final XRP timeline and why I'm so worried about the XRP community right now. Because just like with the gold and the precious metals community, you've seen the frustration. Now that I've been in the precious metals community for a couple years, and I've started buying exclusively silver over just the last year and a half or so, I've seen the community and their sentiment as well. Now, just like the XRP community, the precious metals community, relatively speaking, are the adults in the room who kind of see the fiat funny money Ponzi scheme for what it is. It's the same thing as Bitcoiners. I agree with the Bitcoiners on a lot of the premise, on a lot of the reasons why they went to Bitcoin. I just disagree on Bitcoin being the best investment opportunity. So that's where I stand with the Bitcoin bros. But before we get to what we invest in, I agree on the fiat funny money Ponzi scheme. Same thing with the precious metals community. And for me, the merging of the DLT technology with the precious metals commodities and all the other resources, creating this internet of value, this is the quadrillion-dollar opportunity for digital assets. If XRP can just have a little piece of that action, then we move somewhere very interesting. To see gold finally break out feels amazing. I'm going to show you guys what we're doing on silver as well. Let's take a look at it. We were up above $26 per ounce, basically, almost up to 26.5 for silver, but we're cooling off here, 25,875. Watch out for a pullback. It's the same thing that I'm going to talk about with XRP. You guys already know the deal. We're going to have these big sell-offs on the way up, and they're desperately trying to short these things and trying to cover their shorts. Now, to exit their position, they have to end up buying the underlying stock or the underlying investment contract here on precious metals. They have to clear out by buying, and this is what forces the pressure to go up. It's a spiral, it's a cascading liquidations that take it all the way up to these new all-time highs, and then it's that slingshot that's been pulled back and the tension finally gets released, and the sky's the limit. And so that's why you got Peter Schiff. Of course, Peter has to take the opportunity to dig at the Bitcoin bros, which I always appreciate. I like Peter a lot. I don't need to agree. We don't need to agree on everything to respect Peter's platform. I definitely am a big fan of Peter Schiff. And in regards, he hates on Bitcoin a little bit, more, and the comments that he make aren't the same comments that I would make about Bitcoin, but nonetheless, neither one of us own any Bitcoin. But with that being said, that's why you have him saying that it's more important that gold is the gold news tonight, because gold is in a new all-time high. It's in uncharted territory. Now, cryptocurrency, digital assets is going to be in uncharted territory too, because we're going through a time where we've never seen crypto digital assets perform during a recession. This is the big trillion-dollar question for crypto. Now, I wanted to share a couple events here, current events, before we get going. Magnitude 6.9 earthquake strikes off southern Philippines. And I just want to pray for those folks over there caught up in another situation. There was earthquakes there last week as well. And, I'm talking about black swan season. And we talk about cold and flu season. We talk about election cycle coming up here in the United States. We talk about how World War III is picking up. Once again, the ceasefire lasted about a week, and now our destroyer is shooting down drones, and we're in direct engagement conflict right now in the Middle East. You have to understand that. That's not a joke. It's not a meme. It's our military is at war. May God bless our troops. And this is what I'm talking about with Black Swan season. Folks think that when I say Black Swan, a lot of folks think of, all scenarios happening at once, complete end of the world apocalypse. Well, you have to look, the banking crisis of this year was a black swan. The Russia invasion of Ukraine was a black swan. Israel-Hamas war that started off here was a black swan. March 2020, black swan. And we've gotten black swanned over a half a dozen times just within the last few years. And yet folks think that we still haven't been black swanned and everything's happy slappy. And, the stocks never crash. No, the stocks did crash. S&P 500, I've already shown you guys, went into correction territory. It's just everybody was in denial about it. I'll show you the chart right here. 27% correction for S&P 500. And folks are in my comments and they're saying, oh, now you're flip-flopping, now you've switched. No. People forgot that we already crashed 27% for the S&P 500. Folks, that's death if you invested in the wrong way there. If you bought the top and you thought this thing was fine and you're down 27% on your retirement, your 401k, that's death. And so a lot of folks don't understand, and I try to, break this down, my context, what I'm talking about when I say that we're in black swan season. I'm talking about Biden and the dozens of scenarios that could play out with him. I'm talking about cold season. Get your immune system up, by the way. Dexplorer, I see you with the 5 spot. Smart Silver Stacker said India and Russia are trying to find a currency compromise for commodity purchases. XRP works, obviously. Keep an eye on that. Russia's oldest bank piloted XRP Ledger years ago. The connections are there. There's some interest that's there. Ripple themselves is not going to work with any country that is sanctioned by the United States, Iran, Russia. But that's not stopping anybody in Iran or Russia from using the open source permissionless ledger that is XRPL. So that's what gets interesting, is that we've already noted how BRICS, there's already 5 BRICS nations that have ODL already live, XRP settlement already live within them. So yeah, a lot of folks are looking at, what's going to be the solution? Well, we're already seeing one solution has presented itself, and we're seeing big time connections between Ripple, meeting with the Central Bank of Brazil, meeting with the central bankers from China, hosting the central bankers from China in San Francisco. I wonder if they rolled out the red carpet as well as they did for Xi Jinping when Biden hosted him in San Francisco here just last month, cleaning up the streets. And what's interesting now is Argentina's new president, Milei, is saying now he wants to back out of BRICS. Now, that was one of the countries where on-demand liquidity is live. That was one of the countries that I pointed out. There's already 5 countries in BRICS, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And then we have 6 others that went to join: Argentina, the UAE. Those are both countries where on-demand liquidity is already live. So the alternative has already presented itself. But good point, Dexplorer. I appreciate it. And at the end of the day, this is only going to enhance, DLT is only going to enhance precious metals, because it's going to make it more easily tracked, traced, and traded, more liquid, which is the big thing that it really needs, is liquidity. And just think, right now, we're waiting for the markets to open on Sunday. The Forex market opens, futures markets open. And meanwhile, it's like cryptocurrency is going 24/7, 365. And we're just like, what are you guys talking about? We're turning the markets off. This is the new world economy. We're going 24/7, 365. And this is what we've been watching, is that although many folks tried to say that the BRICS conference was a nothing burger, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Is it difficult for these countries to abandon the US dollar completely? 100%. Absolutely. Shane P., thank you for the 20 spot. Shane, I really do appreciate the love. Much love to everyone in the chat tonight. Are we feeling good tonight in the chat? Like, real quick, let me know how we're doing in the chat tonight. I'm reading the comments. I'm making sure that I didn't mute myself. We're having a little bit of fun. God bless all of you guys for joining me tonight. Little Sunday pump. What do you say? Let's roll. So, where do we leave off? The point I got started ranting about black swans. Hurricane hits. That's good. Another good one. Natural disaster. Earthquake hitting the Philippines. This is another one that just hit. So, I mean, you name the black swan scenario, it is potentially going to play out, or it already is, and we have more on the way. It's getting wild out here. And so, continuing on that thread, we see that China's second largest real estate developer, Evergrande, faces dissolution in bankruptcy court tomorrow, December 4th. Just like I was saying with the black swans, folks are in denial that we've already been black swan, that we've already been smacked. Folks are saying the same thing about Evergrande. It's a big nothing burger. Oh, the Evergrande FUD's been going around forever. The Tether FUD's been going around forever. We still haven't seen it go through the bankruptcy process. This isn't something that just, gets solved overnight. You understand that they can wind up here. This is a huge shout out to the butcher of Wall Street, Marcel. I just connected with Marcel. Huge shout out to whoever in his community let him know that I played a clip sharing his tweet. And it looks like me and Marcel are going to connect here soon. I'm really looking forward to that. But something just popped up on my computer. That was weird. But we shared his post in regards to the reverse repo market. But take a look at this. Global banks hold nearly $1 trillion in bonds and loans of Evergrande Real Estate Company and their failed electric vehicles division. This whole company's one big Ponzi scheme. They're literally demoing buildings, whole cities that they built over there that are ghost cities, now getting demolished. And you have over $1 trillion in bonds and loans of the Evergrande company that global banks hold. And folks are like, oh, Evergrande's been a big nothing burger. No, the banking crisis is not over. The same folks think that the banking crisis is over, right? The same folks think that the Tether FUD is just that. It's just FUD. Tether's always going to be fine. Oh, funny enough, same folks were saying the same thing about Binance. And every time I made a comment about Binance, I kid you not, the bots came out, the Binance bots. And I couldn't even tell if they were real or fake. I was like, there were so many of them. I was like, this has to be fake. But literally, every time I've ever talked about Binance FUD, the Binance bots come out and they attack the channel. And then what just happened? $4 billion settlement with Binance. Huge shout out to Secretary Treasury Janet No Telling Yellen. So, the same folks that are saying these are big nothing burgers, these are big conspiracy theories, have been wrong, right? And we just keep seeing it one after another vindication on these things that we've been called crazy, lunatic, whack job conspiracy theories for. Just like the Ethereum free pass. So, how is your program working out not being a conspiracy theorist? I mean, seriously. So, huge shout out to Butcher of Wall Street, Marcel. He says, if bondholders on December 4th don't accept EG's Evergrande's poor solution of taking equity in the insolvent company, Evergrande will be formally dissolved and all remaining assets of the heavily indebted real estate developer will be sold off en masse, leaving as little as 0 to 5% repayment to debtors. He says, just effing die already, you Ponzi scheme POS company. He says, for those unaware, Evergrande only remains solvent due to the literal Ponzi in which more new investors would need to buy apartments from them in order to fund those that had already been ordered and paid for in the past. This has already collapsed, and no Chinese person is stupid enough to invest another RMB into their scam. ISDA banks will be forced to write off nearly $1 trillion in losses from that one developer alone should this occur. Now, what's so interesting is the ISDA. Doesn't that sound a little familiar? Well, it absolutely does, because Ripple was just accepted into the ISDA, weren't they? And so we've been all over the ISDA as of late, and this is what we're talking about with the toxic derivative exposure. The liquidity crisis still going on. Debt, currency, liquidity crisis. Say it with me. Debt, currency, liquidity crisis. Okay? And it's not done. It's not going anywhere. In fact, Kim.com, in relation to the United States, let's bring this back home. We don't want to just pick on that country. let's pick on ourselves too here in the good old US of A. Kim.com says it's over. What you're looking at right here is a chart. Our annual interest payments on the federal debt versus the annual defense spending. And we have just blasted through. Talking about Bitcoin blasting through 40K. Talking about gold blasting through new all-time highs to 2100. How about this one, folks? The annual interest payment on the federal debt blasting through defense spending. No resistance met. Hockey stick, send it. And just like Kim.com has alluded to, when you look at the United States, how have we been able to enforce this reserve currency status? Well, it's very simple. It's so simple. The largest military known to man. And God bless our troops. I wish that they weren't used by the military industrial complex for the things that they've been used for over the past couple decades, and even going all the way back to Vietnam, right? I have family that served in Vietnam, that served in World War II, served even, more recent than that. And it pains me. It pains me because I love our troops. And I want us to have the strongest military, the strongest defense measures. But do we need to be on these military excursions across the planet? That's debatable. You know how I feel. I want our good men and women to be used for protecting good, right? Protecting the righteous. But the point that I've been bringing this back to, no matter what program you want to support, no matter what country you want to save, no matter who you want to give money to, we are broke. This is unsustainable. And unless you want to go into a period of relatively hyperinflation, if you don't want to call it hyperinflation, well, we'll just call it inflation. And then let's start to debate what is inflation, how do we track it, what inflation gauge are we going to use, and we can debate that. And you guys know where we stand on the CPI lie and all of that data. And it's much, much, much worse than they're leading us to believe. So if you don't want to call it hyperinflation, that's fine. That's fine. But as we've shown from data points across, anything that matters has been 10 to 20% plus inflation. And in the video that I dropped earlier today, I explained how now they're talking about deflation on durable goods. For the first time in a few years, we have deflation. The price came down by 2% on durable goods. What are durable goods, you might ask? Well, that would be your cars, your homes, your appliances, your furniture, your electronics, which I made the point. Everybody's putting it on buy now, pay later. Everybody's putting it on credit. And that's why these things aren't more affordable when the overall price comes down 2%. We have a long ways to go because the debt that's being used to finance the asset, or well, it ain't going to be your asset until you've paid it off. The debt that's being used to purchase that durable good has gone up and it's doubled. And so that's why the real cost is up 50 to 100% on these durable goods. So just because the $1 million house comes down 2%, does that make a difference? No. Just because the car comes down from $100,000 to $98,000, comes down 2%, comes down 5%. Let's say that cars came down 5%, 10%. $100,000 Escalade comes down to $90,000. Is it any more affordable? No, because the interest has gone from 5% on that Escalade to 10% on that Escalade. Same thing is taking place with our US government in the federal debt. This is where this is starting to unravel. Is the rest of the world is trying their best to get away from the US dollar. This is why you're seeing Argentina's president. I worry that Argentina's president Javier Milei, whatever his name is, I worry that he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I really do worry. Because when you look at what he's done since he's been elected, now he's backing out of BRICS. Now he's saying that, okay, we might still be using the US dollar, and this is the typical thing that all these politicians do, right? They run on all these tough principles, all these tough actions and policies that they're going to take. And then as soon as they get elected, oh, wait, hold up. I'm actually bought and paid for by the same groups that I don't even need to mention. You guys already know the deal. Oh, yeah, sorry. Actually, I'm bought and paid for I'm just a little puppet boy. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll see what he does. We'll see what he does. The problem with all of these countries, and I have sympathy for this, is it's difficult to get away from the US dollar, especially when so many of them have racked up huge debts in US dollar and have bought a bunch of our bonds. This is the problem. And this is why Japan and China and others are selling their bonds at the fastest pace in decades. Now, in regards to what happens next, it looks like John Deaton is right in alignment with what I'm seeing. He says, let me make a prediction that does not require me or anyone else to be clairvoyant. The Fed will lower rates before the summer. It is an election year, and the administration in power will not allow 8% mortgage rates and higher gas prices, etc. Why? It's all about the economy, dummy. 100%. They will do whatever it takes to encourage economic activity and avoid a nasty recession. The Fed will print money and lower rates. It is a guarantee. But as I showed you guys on the charts, you go back every single time when the Fed pauses rate hikes, right? They raise rates. In 2005 to 2007, what did they do? From 1% to 5%. Basically the same thing that they did this time around, except after 2020, they took rates to zero. So we went from 0 to 5% at the fastest pace in history. So it was even faster rug pull. Now everybody has to reset. We have to reset real estate. We have to, reset corporate debt. We have to reset all of the bonds. This is why everything's been flipped upside down. Why the banking crisis is still going on. And what happens? The equities correct after the first rate hike. First rate cut. That's what the markets are anticipating at the beginning of next year. Q1, Q2, probably first half, but most definitely we get our first rate cut in 2024. Now, see, I try to break down all this macro stuff and make it simple for the everyday person to understand. Enough understanding so that we can take effective action. That's what this is about for me. So when I talk about black swan season, when I talk about a correction, do you think that I'm just sitting on the sideline with nothing, no skin in the game? Absolutely not, guys. I've been stacking the heck out of it. Silver, XRP, a few other cryptos. But I've also been remaining liquid. Why? Because even though we've begun the next bull run, even though we've begun the next cycle of Fed printing, of quantitative easing, and rates coming back down, even though we have started that, the transition, the next move in this cycle, even though we've started that, it doesn't mean that we're not going to get bumped down along the way. This is exactly what we did in 2007, 2008. Now, I'm gonna finish up my comments on that towards the end of the show when I break down the XRP timeline and why I'm so worried about the XRP community. But I got a few more points that I wanted to share with you guys, because this is this is a retweet from John Deaton. He's retweeting Scott Melker, and he's talking about the stock market. He says the stock market has had positive returns in 83% of election years. 1940, 2000, and 2008 were the only 3 times that the trend was broken. 2024 is an election year. Will a recession finally hit in the most bullish year of the cycle? The point that I want to make and bring home is that yes, 83% of the time, it's A-okay. It's great times. It's not that bad. Except for what years? 2008, 2000, and 1940, along with another one that should have been highlighted is 1932. 15% down. 10% down in 1940. In 2000, we were down 9%. And in 2008, down 37%. And the S&P went down about 50% during that crash. What I'm watching for and why I'm telling folks to remain careful, and if you have the ability to stay liquid, you're going to want to stay liquid just so that you can survive the inflation. Because what higher asset prices means, what this next bull run means, what gold going above to new all-time high means, is that inflation is going to be coming back. It's going to be coming back in a major way. And I think that for me, I just keep it simple. Let's look at the simple indicators, like the McDonald's large fry. and this guy right here says $7 for a large fry. We are living in the Great Depression. Can you believe it, folks? Right? $7 for a large fry. I don't know where this is. I'm really assuming that this is in, maybe Miami, maybe Seattle, San Francisco, New York, one of these cities where they can get away with something criminal like this. But Quath the Raven says $7 used to get you 7 double cheeseburgers, and then briefly after that 7 McDoubles which was shrinkflation's version of a double cheeseburger. Through shrinkflation, through the manipulation of the data, through all of it, it's one big lie. And you guys know, you guys see it every single time you go out to fill up the tank, even though that's cooled off a little bit lately. But when you go to feed the family, when you go to pay for any of these durable goods, now the durable goods have come down 2%. But what do you realize? All of these durable goods, all of these services, they cost 50 to 100% more than they did just a few years ago. Across the board, right? I mean, you used to be able to buy a new car that, was a decent grocery getter for $20,000 to $25,000. A brand new grocery getter, right? Now, I mean, golly, just your basic cars can be 40, 50,000. Standard package, nothing fancy, right? 40, 50,000. And when you tack on the debt to finance that rig has gone from 4% to 8 to 10 to even more, right? Some people paying, the data, I forgot to pull it up. It's like almost, there's a significant amount of people that now have a car payment over $1,000 per month. So what used to be a mortgage payment is now your car payment. $7 to buy your French fries is what our great-grandparents paid to buy their whole grocery bill. They went to the grocery store and paid $7 to fill up the cart. Now we buy a large fry or a woke Starbucks latte. And what does Biden say as he gets community notes fact-checked on Twitter? He tried to tell us that inflation was 0%. This is all part of the manipulation. This is all part of skewing the data. Go buy a large fry at McDonald's. I like to keep it simple. Look at simple indicators like this to really see where the inflation has gone. Now, if we're talking about most Americans, right, can see the inflation. They can see what's taking place. And if they're lucky to even get to a point to have investments, well, they're too lazy to even know what they have invested in, let alone even getting to the point to having some investments, right? That's hard enough for the middle class and poor to break out and own some assets. But even the ones that do, this is just unbelievable. 46% of 401k investors are clueless about their investments, CNBC survey finds. And you have to understand, just because someone is not clueless doesn't mean they're making good investments either. See, just because someone goes along to get along and allows their Wall Street, financial broker to move their money around and manage their funds doesn't mean that they're not still clueless or even, even that they're not making money, right? So you have about half of Americans that don't even know what their 401k's in, but then you have another percentage past that even though they know what they're in, they think they're in something that's good. Meanwhile, for us, we've been highlighting the fact that you can just trust the talking head pundits on CNBC that are telling you that everything's good, or you can actually look at these markets and see that we've already started a major, major correction. The beautiful point that we find ourselves in is that we've got into an asset class before institutional money has come in. So I'm about to transition into the crypto update. I have a few points to make. It's going to be so critical here that you guys understand this final XRP timeline, but let's get right on into it, because where we're at right now is we've front-run institutions. When we were buying XRP all through the last few years, we were front-running institutions. And now, yes, big money has been in. Wall Street has been in crypto. Wall Street was in Ethereum. Wall Street was in Ripple. It's very clear. Wall Street and insiders have been in the digital asset space, without a doubt. The heir of BNY Mellon purchased what, $50 million worth of XRP? He was sitting on the biggest stash of XRP, right? R3 tried to get $5 billion back in 2016. This isn't a joke. This isn't a game. But now it needs to be offered up to the masses. See, it's not just that we've been picking up alongside the insiders. That was one thing that's pushed crypto up to where it's at. But it also needs to be shilled to the masses. The masses need to be able to roll over their 401k to a Bitcoin ETF, to an Ethereum ETF, to an XRP ETF. And that's what's about to be provided. And you are seeing all of these institutions get their ducks in a row. Mr. Mann shared this one with us today on Twitter. Legal Entity Identifier and JP Morgan. ISDA. Oh, there's that ISDA again that we were talking about earlier. ISDA explains that the legality for digital derivatives is the base layer, the foundation. Now, I almost missed a super chat from my good friend Stuart. Stuart, our good friends from the land down under in Australia. Thank you for the 50 spot, Stuart. I appreciate you, brother. There are still too many oblivious to what is happening, and time's running out. I believe it's the last time to wake them up. Tick tock, Stuart, 100%, brother. Time is running out, and you can see it right here with what I'm sharing you guys. What you have here is JP Morgan. ISDA explains that the legality for digital derivatives is the base layer, the foundation. So we've been talking about derivatives. How big is it? You guys already know the deal because we've talked about it so many times. You're talking about hundreds of trillions that even runs up over 1 quadrillion, and we actually can't get the final tally because it's a shadow asset class. So we literally have a market that is valued in the quadrillions of dollars. And just as I showed you earlier with Evergrande, 1 trillion of toxic derivatives that need to be reset. Talk about a debt, currency, and liquidity crisis. JP Morgan, what are they doing? They are creating a Mansart XRP fund. This is active. This is in Ireland. The fund type is XRP. Mansart Management, quote, is a specialist asset management business focusing on derivative-based solutions across all asset classes. What is this?
Yeah, Bill had said that too. He said earlier that some of that framework is being built now, right? The data, the digitized legal data, that information is going to be kind of the footprint, or we should call it, I don't build houses, but like the framework, the bottom of the house to get us up to that standard.
That would be the foundation, is the word that she was looking for. The foundation. I see someone in the chat talking about
Bill had said that too.
Growing their own vegetables. That's what I love to hear. That's what I love to hear. You don't need a big space. Plant those seeds, just like with digital assets, just like with all of our investments. We're planting those seeds and we are reaping the rewards. It's going to be coming in a massive way. Now, what we're looking at right here, folks, this fund is a specialist asset management business focusing on derivative-based solutions across all asset classes. They want to offer you a derivative while they own the underlying asset. How many hundreds of millions and billions of dollars is JP Morgan having to pay in fines for rigging the precious metals market? These same guys are the ones that are trying to buy up all of the XRP, all of the digital assets, and then offer you an ETF so that you can never touch it. You can never feel it. You can never get full utilization out of it. And this is why they ain't going to be touching my XRP. This is why we've been stacking the heck out of this thing, is because we can see that the institutional money is coming. And you can see right here, JP Morgan Mansart XRP 7.5% fund. This is out of Ireland. Okay. Now, we're not done. This is from Forbes. Quote, mark your calendars, people. January 2024 spot ETF approval would be an event that would lead to new capital inflows into the asset class, including XRP. Now, Forbes has gone full hype. Let me make sure you guys can see that. There you go. You guys can see that well. Forbes has gone full on hype with what they've been sharing, right? They're talking about I don't even have to come up with my own titles. I just steal their clickbait. What did they come up with? The $17 trillion earthquake that's coming to crypto. I'm like, yes, I don't have to come up with my own clickbait. I can just copy that. And then I put out the tweet just like last week, and I asked the question, is Forbes just recycling the same article and just making the headline number bigger? Because they went from $17 trillion earthquake to $33 trillion bomb to $69 trillion tsunami. I mean, they just keep upping the ante, and I thought that I was doing some clickbait. Shoot, I got to catch up to Forbes. You know what I'm talking about, though? We keep on seeing these Forbes articles. They went from 17 trillion to 33 trillion. Of course, we recognize the numbers there. And then they went even higher with the most recent one, too. I'm just like, Forbes is priming us, totally priming us. Mark your calendars, folks. Here's your moon date. Do your decode. This is awesome. Forbes digital assets. Mark your calendars. Date revealed as huge 17 trillion Bitcoin ETF countdown suddenly begins, heralding Ethereum, XRP, and crypto price chaos. Thank you so much, Billy Brambro. Billy Bro, senior contributor to Forbes, helping us out with the clickbait. Billy Bro, appreciate it, brother. But you guys, you can see it right here. Filed by Wall Street giants that manage a combined 17 trillion. Just as some think China and the Fed are gearing up to flood the world with trillions. Yeah, that would be that pivot coming in next year. And you're looking at the window is officially January 5th to the 10th. That is the next deadline that we're watching for many of these ETF filings. I already pointed out this last month on the 19th and the 21st, we had about 3. All were delayed. And you just saw that the Franklin Templeton ETF got delayed as well. Excuse me. So it's been delay. And now we are going to finally see, is the SEC going to have to deny, or are they finally going to approve and we open the floodgates? And it's not even clickbait. That's the funny thing. And it is conservative numbers. When you talk about 17 trillion is what BlackRock and all these other Wall Street money managers have, that's true. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. When we look all the way down to all of the derivatives, all of the cross-border payments, all the other utilities for DLT technology, 17 trillion is nothing. Going to 17 trillion over the next decade should be done with ease. And they say here, this means that any potential approval orders are going to come on either Monday, January 8th, Tuesday, the 9th, or Wednesday, January 10th. Mark your calendars and do your decode. This event would be considered a net positive for new capital inflows into the asset class, including Ethereum, XRP, and other major cryptocurrencies. And you notice how they're not leaving XRP out of these articles anymore, are they? They aren't leaving XRP out of the conversation these days, are they? Now, Dual Citizen with a 589, I appreciate you, brother. Hey, Zach, had dinner at the Porsche dealership last night for an event. Told those sales guys to get ready to sell me a GT3. Thanks, XRP. Dual, 100%. And I'll tell you what, these dealerships are going to be willing to wheel and deal. Anybody who stays liquid, anybody who has capital, who can pull up and present themselves, and you can sell yourself, you're going to be able to own the deal, the transaction, when it comes to getting these deals done for all of these, whether you're buying a car, whether you're buying a house, real estate deals, whether you're buying businesses. This is all going to, the ball's in our court. And when we get more capital to play with through XRP, through some of our other investments, it's just going to be more fuel that we get to dump on our fire. So Dual, I'm glad to hear that you're already developing the relationships. And people might think that that's funny. Oh, you're developing a relationship at the Porsche dealership, at the, you guys want to go get a Lambo. Oh my gosh. Is there anybody that's actually going to buy a Lambo in the chat? Let me know if you're going to buy a Lambo. Let me know in the comments what you're going to do with your XRP wealth. And I want you guys to prepare, because what I'm so excited for right now is the massive amount of utility that is coming to the XRP ledger too. Now, I want to hear what David Schwartz has to say here on hooks. This is so critical because there's some in the community that are trying to make all this FUD about hooks, smart contracts, about Evergrande doing their deal. There's no FUD. There's no deal here. Let the developers go to their playground. Go have fun, guys. Go play at the playground. That's your hooks. That's your Zahao ledger. It's the little playground. Okay? They didn't want to bring hooks to mainnet. They got upset. They threw a fit. So they're going to a different park to play. They're going to their own playground. Let them go play. Let them go build. Please break it. Then fix it. Then bring it back to mainnet. And it will always have interoperability with mainnet XRPL as well. So there's no reason to FUD the Zahao network. Do I agree with everything? Did they do the best rollout? Did they do this, that? Should they kept the burn to mint going? Zahao actually pumped just over the past 48 hours. Maybe I'll show you guys the chart on that here in a second. But I wanted to share, this is David Schwartz's comments at the Apex Developer Summit that just took place here just a few months ago. He says, in regards to the hooks, it's built in the XRP ledger spirit. He's very much supportive, very significant accomplishment. All of the important, interesting things you'll be able to do. Cool thing, Ripple is not our project. Watch and cheer from the sidelines. And this is retweeted here by Vitse Vin, and huge shout to him. He is the creator of the Zum wallet. Many of us love and know the Zum wallet that allows you to access the XRPL toolkit, and there's so much more coming that way. And what XRPL Labs is doing is, they're a big proponent, big developers behind this Hooks deal. And this is what I love to see, is that not everything's coming from Ripple. This has been the biggest criticism of the XRP ledger, of XRP, and of Ripple, is that they control the whole thing, that it's centralized. That's not true. Now, what you're seeing right here is David Schwartz giving his comments, and this is at the Apex Developer Summit. Let's listen in here on what David has to say.
Complementing that, of course, is Hooks, which I talked a tiny bit about before. This is some work done by XRPL Labs and Wietse Win's team. Hooks is a bespoke, light, smart contract solution for the XRP ledger, complementary to the EVM sidechain. One of the things I like the most about Hooks is that it is built in sort of the XRP ledger spirit. The XRP ledger, when it was developed, we could have just adopted everything Bitcoin did and been another sort of clone of Bitcoin, but we didn't. We rethought things from the ground up. We thought about decentralization. We thought about performance. We thought about making something that's sort of light. And Hooks definitely embodies that spirit. As I mentioned during my Apex keynote last year, we at Ripple are very much in support of Wietse's efforts. It's very, very cool landmark. Just recently, it passed a comprehensive security audit this year. That is extremely difficult to do for a feature this complicated. So that's, as someone who's written features of, complex features that have to pass third-party security audits, that's a very, very difficult thing to do and a very significant accomplishment and absolutely essential to risk large amounts of value. So, yeah, that's a huge. Now, you can't do everything that you could do in an EVM platform with Hooks, but you can do a very significant fraction of important use cases, and that's only going to grow over time. And there are a lot of downsides of sort of a Turing complete or EVM compatible sidechain that you don't have with Hooks. If you think about like the way Ethereum itself works, everything about it is built to support smart contracts. There's an enormous number of trade-offs in terms of confirmation time and fees and stability and resource consumption that you have to make to support a smart contract implementation that heavy. The trade-off is that you can support very, very complicated functionality. Hooks draws a different trade-off. You can't do literally everything that you could do, but all of the important, interesting things I think you will be able to do. And in exchange, you won't have that unpredictability with fees, the resource consumption. So fantastic, fantastic work. And the other cool thing about it is Ripple had absolutely nothing to do with it. We funded some of the developers, but it's not our project. Like they tell us great things about what they've done, and we silently applaud. That sometimes creates the perception that we're not supportive. We absolutely are. It's not our project, and we're not going to try to take it over. We're going to just watch and cheer from the sidelines, and occasionally maybe some funding if they need it.
Yeah, I freaking love David. Maybe a little funding if they need it. Those little guys, we'll send them a little checky check. Love that guy. I love that guy. And this is what's so important, though. Ripple has been focusing on the AMM along with other utilities as well. It allows these guys and gals to go work on the hooks, and together we move the XRP Ledger ecosystem forward. We get additional apps. See how long it took us to get the NFTs? But once we finally got them, they just work. There's been no bugs. There's been no hacks. We found a bug actually while they were doing the amendment process, right? But after we've got it, right, you've seen how NFTs on the XRP Ledger has just worked flawlessly. They've been incredible. Nobody's paying the Ethereum gas fees and all that crap. They work fantastic. And you've already seen the NFT marketplaces that have come along. XRP Cafe, Sologenic, I think, has one. There's been a couple others too on XRPL. So there's been a few that have come on now and they're building. I'm looking forward to, it looks like I'm going to be lining up an interview with Credify, which is the company that we highlighted here recently that chose to integrate the XRPL without partnering up with Ripple. So these are the developments that are starting to take place outside of Ripple's efforts, right? Which was the whole thing, is that they tried to say that it was all based on Ripple's efforts. We were in a common enterprise, an investment contract, and Judge Torres shut her down. But I want to bring this all home for you guys because all the utilities coming, that's great. And as he highlighted, you have differences between the EVM sidechain than you do with the hooks. But both combined, right, we'll have all of the smart contract capabilities that we'll need. And if the Flare guys ever get around to doing something too, maybe we'll have something in the Flare ecosystem as well. I need to do an update on Flare. I don't even know if there's anything worth updating on, but you guys get the point. We will have smart contract platforms that are interoperable with the XRPL. And I believe that liquidity is going to come to the XRPL and settle on the XRPL because it's going to be the best solution, right? If you can settle any ERC20 token, any EVM smart contract can be moved to the XRPL. Why wouldn't you do that? I told you guys, I went to go buy Jesus coin and I was only going to get, I only had like 30, 40 bucks in Ethereum left. And literally 25 bucks of that was going to get eaten up in gas fees. I was like, screw it. I was going to just buy the Jesus coin just to tell the guys, I bought your coin. It's the first meme coin I've ever bought besides Doge. Whatever. But I didn't. And so whatever. but that to me is a joke, right? $25 to just buy a meme coin. What are we talking about here? And so this is what I want to bring it back to. We have great additional utilities that are coming to the XRPL. It's going to be fantastic. We are beginning the next bull run. And even though we might get a black swan, Biden might get sick, something might happen, a weather event, you name it. Another bad cold season. Although that can pull us back, although that's a buying opportunity, you see the trajectory that this thing is on. And with the Fed, along with central banks around the world, they have no other option, right, but to print more money. You're seeing other currencies being devalued against the dollar. Dollar still remains the cleanest shirt in the closet. But our Fed, what are we doing back home? We're getting ready to pivot. We're getting ready to cut, turn back on the money printer, quantitative easing. And what it's going to do to the assets is it is going to send them. So we have to prepare ourselves for this next bull run. And what I want to finish off tonight's episode with is the final XRP timeline that I want to warn the XRP community about. This is really important, guys. What I'm preparing for right now is to watch all these other coins, Jesus coin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, meme coin, this, that, pump, while XRP starts to just steadily climb. And maybe XRP will break out. XRP can break out at any time. But what I'm preparing myself for mentally and what I want to prepare our community for is for watching all of the other coins go first, just like it's happened in other bull runs, where all the other coins go first, XRP goes last, and it goes the hardest. And I don't know if XRP is going to go to the hardest this time around. Maybe Jesus coin will outdo XRP. And I'm just having fun with the Jesus coin deal. Insert any other coin you want. That's fine, right? But the point being, we need to be prepared to watch all of these other coins go. That's kind of what's already happened this year, right? XRP got faked out a couple times. We pump up to $1. We pumped up to 75 cents here recently. This is wearing out a lot of people wearing thin in the community. And this is what's getting me so excited, because this is exactly what's going to happen. This is going to persist, where XRP is going to go up to $1.20. A bunch of guys are going to sell off, or they're going to tell you that they sold off because they want to be slick. Just like all these kids that act like they're making money trading. Don't get me started. Just don't get me started. All these kids saying, oh yeah, I sold the top. Every time XRP pumps, they say that they sold the top. Every time. And then they come back and they try to talk crap and they try to belittle the XRP community. That's why it pisses me off so much. It's because, one, I know that they're full of crap. And two, they're trying to FUD out our community. It's just a lie. As the kids would say, they're capping. You didn't sell the top. And if you did, you're trading your little allowance. You ain't creating generational wealth. So stop trying to FUD out the community. Okay? And that a point aside, what I wanted to highlight is the fact that I'm preparing. I want us to be prepared. We have to remain patient, because just because all these other coins are going to run up doesn't mean the XRP is not going to, right? Just because the stock market's gone up this year doesn't mean the XRP is not going to. XRP is going to go. We are out of the lawsuit. We have clarity. And we have the company Ripple that has been putting in work all through this lawsuit. What's being unveiled now is the partnerships, the deals that they've been working on behind the scenes. And you can't say that they haven't grown, because they went from 300 partnerships to 400. and now they're at 500 partnerships. And guess what? Bank of America is still on their partnership list. Now, will Bank of America make it through the banking crisis? Well, we're going to find that out. But the point remains. You have utility coming from all of the other XRPL developers, creating NFT marketplaces. I'm going to be getting an exclusive interview with Credify this week, it looks like, and I can't wait to talk to them about why they chose the XRPL, not a Ripple partnership. This is a development outside of Ripple. This is a trend that's going to be starting. You combine that with what's getting lifted, that veil's getting lifted on what Ripple's been doing, and now you're seeing, oh yeah, now we're going to move to the DEX, which clearly there's a reason, there's an incentive why they're moving to the DEX. If everything was fine, all good and dandy, there would be no reason to move to the DEX. They would just keep it at the centralized exchanges. But obviously there's a reason, right? There's an incentive, and you're moving out one more middleman. And as I was saying with David Schwartz, they have been working on AMM. You have others from the Ripple development team that have been working on XLS 38D, interoperability cross-chain bridge. You have DID, digital identifier, XLS 40D. All of this is getting worked on with XLS 30, which is the AMM as well. This is all coming to the XRPL when we have legal clarity too. And you have to understand, folks say, oh, well, we don't have full clarity. No, we do. We do. We have clarity that it's not a security. And we have further proof on top of 80 years of proof that the underlying asset is never the security. What is the security is the investment contract that underlying asset is wrapped up in. You can take any commodity and wrap it in an investment contract and create a security. It doesn't make the silver that I wrap into an investment contract the security. It makes the contract itself. That is the security. So we have clarity because you have to go look at the FinCEN case where XRP was deemed a virtual currency. So we already have been called a currency. And if you're not a security, then that would make you probably a commodity if you have additional utility as well as monetary value as a currency. So we do have clarity, and we have an understanding now for how to get XRP into the hands of institutions. Now, there's a few things to work out there as far as options, contracts, and different deals in that regard. But all Ripple has to do is put a middleman in between them and an institution, and they can get XRP into the hands of any bank or institution that needs XRP. And boy, oh boy, do they need XRP. As I highlighted earlier this week, we now got the data point that they have about $700 billion worth of bad loans on their commercial and mortgage-backed securities. And it's actually not just their commercial, it's residential. It's residential and commercial mortgage-backed securities. They have about 700 billion of exposed toxic losses, and they have 600 billion of unrealized losses on their bonds. So if we do quick math, right, you can see that there's over $1 trillion of unrealized losses and bad debt that they're holding on their balance sheet. This problem is not going away. This liquidity crisis is not over. So although crypto is pumping, you got to be prepared for bumps along the way because the liquidity crisis is not over. Regulations are not set for stablecoins, which is the big catalyst that I'm watching to hit crypto. We weathered Binance very well. Janet No Telling Yellen is on screen telling us that Binance is paying them $4 billion. What are we all doing? We're laughing at her while we buy more crypto. See, the people are seeing through the lie. The people want the alternatives, and the banks and the institutions need the alternatives. They need a solution to their balance sheets. It's not even so much of, oh, we're going to use XRP for cross-border payments because that cuts out their profit. They're the ones that are collecting the tolls for all those cross-border payments. So that takes away their business. But if they add enough XRP to their balance sheet, maybe they can take advantage of that asset going up in price. They can use it as a reserve on their balance sheet while also using it for its utility as well. So the main point that I wanted to make is that our community needs to be prepared for XRP to start to break out, but you're going to watch meme coins go. There's still going to be plenty of speculation in this space. Bitcoin's already rallying. Ethereum's already rallying. Every single video that I drop, people are whining and complaining about XRP. People are frustrated with XRP. People say, keep on dreaming, Zach. People say, you're full of it. People hate, complain, cry. And I have sympathy for the regular person that has been caught up in this situation, and bad stuff's happening to good people right now. 100%. It's getting tight out here for all of us. But we warned about this all the way back at the start of 2022, that the bear market was coming, that a recession had already started, and that it was time to hunker down. It was time to prepare. And sure enough, here we are in 2023. We've gone through the worst of it. We've started to break out, but the market has been overbought. And what you're seeing is a market that thinks that nothing can stop us. This is exactly when you get smacked back down. And I saw even BC Backer. It was funny because I read someone's comment and they were like, Zach's so full of this and that, and just go watch BC Backer. BC Backer says we're going to the moon or something like that. And I was like, okay. I mean, I get that a lot. A lot of people, they don't want to listen to the inconvenient truth. They want to go get hopium. But then I went and looked at what BC Backer posted today. He said that he's selling his positions in Bitcoin and he's preparing for 30K Bitcoin here soon. And I just had a laugh. So I'm just thinking, he's somebody who gets it. See, I respect BC Backer. I'm not nothing with BC, nothing wrong with BC Backer. I used to watch a lot of his content. But he sees what I see, that this market is overbought. This market is frothy, right? And we're not out of the storm just quite yet. We've started to break out. We've started to have fun. Congratulations to the Bitcoin bros. Ethereum back above 2,200. That's great. XRP ready to go. I'm going to remain patient. I'm going to be able to watch Jesus coin, Elon coin go to the moon. In the meantime, I'm going to know what's coming for XRP. And what's coming for XRP is going to be a massive, massive move. Without a doubt. We will not be missing this bull run. Just like we got shorted and snubbed this last time around. It's not going to happen again. It's not. There's too much money coming in that wants exposure to XRP, and there's too many people that need XRP this time around. And there's been too much money printed, and there's going to be even more money printed. So as far as price action, well, that's where it really gets interesting. That's where it really gets interesting. There is nothing between $2 and $4. There's nothing between $2 and all-time high. So when we break above $1 here soon, I'm going to remain patient. I'm going to be excited. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be having ourselves another late night live stream. But you guys know the deal. We got to stay prepared. Inflation's going to be coming back. And so although the assets are pumping, we can cheer because our crypto portfolio is going up. If you guys own some stocks, maybe it'll be going up, even though I believe that stocks and equities are set to correct in a major way. Because as I showed you guys, the equities markets always correct after the first Fed cut. After we get that cut, we get a correction. So watch for that. But what you're seeing is crypto front running that. This will be the first time that we get to see crypto potentially go through some sort of recession. But the reason why I'm not worried is because they're going to paper this one over, and the response is going to be even bigger than the last time. That's the thing. The response in 2001 was big, right? After the dot-com bubble and bust, the response was big. In 2008, 2009, after that great financial crisis, the response was even bigger. Then in 2020, we had the biggest response we've seen in the history of the US and maybe even in the history of the world. And it was because it was massive worldwide global money printing. And we're still going through that. And while we're going through that, and they haven't been injecting much, they've been doing quantitative tightening. Now we're getting that, and all that happened during that time, we remained incredibly resilient. Bitcoin went down to 15,000, but we've already ran up another 160%. We've remained incredibly resilient, and we're getting ready to go back up again. But what I watch out for is what gave them the excuse to turn back on the money printer was a massive catalyst in March of 2020. And before that, in September of 2019, you started to see the reverse repo market break. The reverse repo market went up to $26 billion in 2008. Would you believe me if I told you that our reverse repo market grew by 100 times between now and then? Or do you still think that I'm just full of crap and I'm just trying to come up with some gloom and doom FUD? It went from 26 billion to 2.6 trillion, 100 times bigger. And it just got cleaned out for 100 billion on Friday. To put that into perspective, 100 billion getting cleaned out is 4 times bigger than the total reverse repo market got to in 2008 at about 26 billion. I'm rounding off. But we cleared out 100 billion on Friday. That's 4 times bigger in one day than what the reverse repo grew to in 2008. So this is why I know the liquidity crisis is not over. The banking crisis is not over. Equities are set to correct. Crypto, although it's broken out, it can be corrected and slapped down at any time. Just like in 2020, after crypto had rallied 342% and it got smacked and it dropped down all the way to 3,000 once again. And now you guys think I'm full of crap. Let me show you what I'm talking about and drop your comments and questions down below because I will be answering them. Let's do a little bit of a Q&A session while we look at the charts. Now back up to 40,918 as we speak, guys. 163% rally here for Bitcoin on the weekly chart, back up to about 41,000. Are we going to break through 41,000 tonight? This is massive. But it's not as massive as the rally that we got during 2019. Now, when you look at the comparison here, right, this is much bigger, right? From 15,000 to 30,000, or 41,000. But when you look at it on a percentage basis, this move was actually significantly bigger. All through 2019. Rally, pump, send it. And this was the time when I was going all in on XRP. At 12,000, I was selling off my Bitcoin and going into XRP. Now, we went from 3,000 all the way up to about 14,000 for Bitcoin. 340% rally. It was all fine and dandy. Okay, we got a little bit of a correction. We're coming back down here to about 7,000. That's all right. New Year kicks in. We get a New Year rally back up to about 10,500. And that was in February. The final last gasp of air before we got drowned out in March 2020, back down to 3,800. That is why I am remaining so cautious as we find ourselves. We're in the year before the bull run really kicks on. The bull run really kicks on through 2024, 2025. When is that Bitcoin halving come in? You guessed it. Next year, April, most likely. It's going to be April of 2024 is when that Bitcoin halving comes in. Now, same thing came in 2020. But what you guys saw was the market had a run up leading up to it. But that big time sell-off, and that's a drop back down when you measure. Let's just measure this right here. That's a 71% drop, give or take, right? I just measured down here, right? We went up 340% from 3,000 to 14,000, but then we dropped back down to 3,800. That's a drop of over 70%. So do you see why I'm being a little cautious right here? Okay. You see why I'm being a little cautious, even though I'm saying the bulls are in control. The bulls are stampeding. We're in the middle of the stampede. And I'm not going to get in the way. I stepped off to the side and I said, you guys go have fun. You guys run it up. Okay. My bags are packed. Don't for a second think that I'm all doom and gloom and I've gone to all cash or all precious metals and I don't have my XRP. No, I've only bought more XRP during this time. I've only bought more silver and I've only stacked more cash because I know what they're going to hit us with. They need problem, reaction, solution. They need order out of chaos. This is their motto. This is what they live by. This is what they ritualize. When you can see it before it happens, you can prepare. What our problem has been is being early. The whole program is a few years behind, obviously with the lawsuit for Ripple XRP. But nothing can stop what is coming in, folks. We just busted through 41,000 as I was speaking. Are you kidding me? Let's go. Let me zoom in here. I'm actually going to show you guys the 4-hour chart. Let's zoom in and see what we're looking at. Let's see what we're working with here. This is your Bitcoin chart, folks. 1 second. My apologies. Let's take a look at this thing. This thing's pumping hard. $41,200 for our Bitcoin, guys. 2,241, almost 2,250 for our Ethereum. XRP. Can we get any life in this thing? Up to 63 cents. If you guys smash the like button, maybe we can encourage XRP pump to continue. Make sure you guys have subscribed, hit that notification bell, and drop your comments or questions down below. Let's do a little bit of Q&A while I finish up my adult beverage. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. You guys already know that all of my resources are at zachrector.com. Our charts, Bitcoin, doing its thing. I just want to see a green candle like that for XRP. Bring it in, please. 63 cents. We are moving. We are moving. 12 cent XLM. XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin. And this is exactly what I was warning about as I finished up everything that I was going through with you guys. I explained how I am worried right now that we're going to be watching Bitcoin go, Ethereum go, Jesus coin go, meme coins go. Everything's going to go. Stock market's been going. And XRP is going to be lagging and folks are going to leave it. And they already have been leaving it. They've already been losing faith. They've already gone bust and they had to sell their XRP to pay off their credit card. And the good people that have done their best, I still have sympathy for those folks. For the folks that have lost conviction, they're lost soldiers. They're fallen soldiers. We can't save everyone. You guys already know what we've been doing. We've been trying to spread the word about these suppressed assets for the past few years. I started making content on TikTok because all of the FUD, misinformation, and disinformation that was being spread about XRP. Now, folks thought that I was just an XRP moon boy. Couldn't be further from the truth. We talked about XRP. The first year of our content was mostly exclusively XRP and some current events. But then, thank God for the bear market, it gave us an opportunity to diversify our content. And that's why now we bring you all of the financial markets, all of the current events, and then how I am positioning myself in all of these asset classes as well. Right now, all of these cryptos are pumping, XRP lagging. You guys are seeing it in the sentiment. You guys are seeing it in the community. And they forget. See, I think that we've become numb to all of the great partnerships, adoption, and development that we see in the community. It's like Ripple says they're working with 500 partners. Ripple says they're working with the Central Bank of Georgia. And people have already forgot that. We've gotten so many good news, so much good news without good price action that we have recency bias, which is where you're so focused on the events that are right in front of you that you don't think about or you don't consider, you forget what is still possible in the future. Now, as that relates to XRP, that's been folks losing faith in XRP and forgetting all of the great developments, adoptions, and partnerships that we have. And the beautiful thing, as I've been talking about, you have 500 partners. Most of them don't use XRP. That's the opportunity for us to get in before they start using XRP. You're seeing recency bias somewhat in the precious metals community where they thought forever, oh crap, JP Morgan's never going to let this thing go. The elites are never going to let it go. They've got it too suppressed. And then finally, we break out for both gold and silver. How about that for a little God candle on our gold? What do you guys say? Back up to 2150. God, absolutely love to see it. Gold, send it. Silver, what do you say? Nearly up to $26 per ounce, depending on who you ask. If you look at the silver continuous contract here in the US, yeah, we're already back up to 26 bucks, 26,250. 26 and a quarter. $26.25. This little bar right here. Right? 260 bucks. And most folks don't think about what we have here with this opportunity as far as a hedge against inflation, but also the gains to be considered. So much catching up to do for silver. Gold, although it's exciting going to all-time highs, and although we could see gold do something pretty special as well, I really do believe that silver has so much catching up to do. This thing's going to rip so hard. And the industrial use, they've been lying to us about how much utility this has been providing for industry. And actually now they've made adjustments. We were just talking about this in our Discord group. Our good friend David was highlighting how they've had to make adjustments because they were lying to us about how much of this silver was being used up for industrial utilities. And we're seeing with what the new, Green New Deals, we need to double our copper production. Meanwhile, one of the largest copper production mining facilities is being shut down. And you look across the board for all of the resources, all the commodities, even for gold and silver as well. The silver miners in Peru getting shut down through the chaos that was taking place in that country. You look at some of the miners in Mexico having issues there as well. You look at the silver deficit that we had last year, it's undeniable. Everybody knows there was a 230 million ounce deficit last year. So to cover their shorts, this is the same thing that's taking place with GameStop and the AMC in the meme coins. To get out of these positions, they have to buy the stock. To get out of these positions, right, they have to clear out their positions. And this causes the assets to go, and it's going to go to levels that is going to just be unbelievable for most people. For us, we've been preparing to see silver go back up to $50. We've been preparing to see gold to go to $3,000 per ounce. And we know that that's just getting started. That's just getting the party started. So you guys know that deal. If there's any other charts or, charts that you guys want me to pull up, I can do that for you guys. I want to check the Q&A though. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight, guys. Oh boy, my good friend Stuart. Hundo, man. Much love, Stuart. So much love for you, brother. Again, remember, just 270,000 wallets, not people, have at least 10,000 XRP out of 8 billion people. Hello. Such a small group. Such a small group, Stuart. 100%, brother. Hey, cheers to you, Stuart. I appreciate you. Always keeping our eyes on the prize. You have 4 million wallets, but you consider how many of those wallets are held by, I got multiple wallets. I don't even know how many I have. I've lost track of how many XRP wallets I have. And so when you look at those numbers, it's actually a lot smaller probably, right? I mean, think of how many people have 10,000 XRP in this wallet, 10,000 XRP in that wallet. Yeah. We are a very, very small community. And we're going to put a dent in the universe. Just like Ripple said, our community, along with Ripple, we're building out utility on the XRPL. I'm excited to tokenize all of these resources, all of these commodities, all of the real estate, all the equities, all the bonds. We need a ledger that works. Let's look at the Zhao chart. Songbird too. We got Songbird and Zao. Okay. Let's take a look. Excuse me. 41,250 for our Bitcoin. Let's take a look. Is ZA on CoinMarketCap? It is. Okay. Here we go. Zao coming back down. Uh-oh. Up to 28 cents. Now it went all the way up to 37 cents. What's the all-time high? The all-time high. Oh, this thing's glitching out. Because it says that the all-time high was 8 hours ago at only 12 cents. That's not true. The all-time high was not 12 cents. We're at 28 cents right now. So CoinMarketCap is glitching. It's probably struggling to find because BitTrue is the only exchange that this is being provided at. You have to understand there's still so much or so little liquidity in the Zahao token. So 300,000 in 24-hour volume. This is nothing, guys. This is, I mean, it doesn't take much to move this thing. And so sure enough, we have a run up here to, what is that? About 38 cents, 37 and a half. Okay. Zahao pumping. Let's see SGB. Songbird. Songbird pumping. 32% today. Wow. How about it? Still down 99% from the all-time high of 71 cents. Yeah, I was actually highlighting that. I put out a tweet this weekend. I said, remember when Solo went to $6? Sologenic down at 13.7 right now. Basically just chopping sideways. But yeah, it went up to $6.63 December 2nd, 2021. I think I was able to get out of Solo. I forget what I did. Oh yeah, I sold off my Sologenic before the snapshot. That was what I did. See, Sologenic had started to run up before they took a snapshot. And that's what I did, is that I dumped it on that run up and I was able to successfully trade out of my Sologenic. Now, because of that, I didn't receive much Sologenic on the airdrop, but because I traded that and I executed that trade, I was able to stack more XRP, quite a bit more. So that was a fun little trade that I did on Sologenic. And I'm curious to see, where's Reaper at? RPR. I haven't checked on a lot of these XRPL projects in a while. Over the last day, Reaper is just moving sideways. It's at 2 cents right now. What has this thing done? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, got up. Okay, this is the last year of trading. Where's our all-time high? All-time high was 12 cents for Reaper. So down 83% from the all-time high of 12 cents. Reaper at 2. I'll tell you what, though. Reaper is the only projects that's paying me an interest just for holding it right now. And they're paying me an XRP. That's why I've always respected Patrick Riley and what they're doing over there at Reaper, is because I'm still getting that drip. Right? That's what he calls the drip fund. Just by holding Reaper, you get paid XRP. I mean, when they said that, I was like, okay, sign me up. I mean, it's exciting. Obviously, the price of Reaper has come down, but they've still been building quite a bit. Another project that I've kept my eyes on in the XRPL community. Let's take a look at Casino Coin. Casino Coin up 3.84% today, so we're starting to get a little activity. Some of these XRPL projects. Okay. Yeah, excited to see where we leave off here. Where's our Jesus Coin at? Jesus Coin crashing down from that all-time high that it hit on Friday. And so I did a live show. What was that, Friday night? Or was that Saturday? I can't remember. That I talked about Jesus Coin. And I mentioned how, here's the deal. I don't stand in the way of meme coins. Just like I'm saying I'm not standing in the way of this bull stampede. I don't get in the way of meme coins. And I've already had my butt handed to me by trying to short meme coins. I've already been cleaned out doing that. So I'm not going to stand in the way of this. And the other thing I'm not going to stand in the way of is people of faith putting their money behind something. And that's what I saw with this Jesus coin. When I looked at it, I said, oh boy, it's going to go, just because, just like my mentor, Dan Pena, said, one of the most powerful entities that he's ever done business with was the Vatican Bank. It ain't no joke. And the Jesus coin, even though it's a meme, I put out a funny little post this weekend where I said, what do Bitcoin and Jesus coin have in common? Well, they're both meme coins with very passionate communities. And of course, they have no utility. Well, that's not going to stop them from pumping, though. And that's what we see with Bitcoin back above 41,000. And we saw that Jesus coin definitely did a significant run up here. I don't do meme coins. I was going to buy some just for the heck of it. Just to say, okay, yeah, to the Jesus coin bros, okay, yes, I own a little bit of your token. But after I was going to have to pay $25 in Ethereum gas fees, I just think that that's blasphemy, and I will not participate in that. So maybe I should have done it. Maybe I should have done it and then just asked God to forgive me for my sins for paying that much in Ethereum gas fees, because that is definitely sinful. But Jesus coin, all these memes, I'm not going to stand in the way. I see a passionate community. Memes are funny, but I don't play around with my money right now. But nonetheless, we'll watch what the Jesus coin does from here on out. Just basically been chopping sideways after it dropped down here. It did bounce back up, but basically just moving sideways. The volatility in this thing is something else, just like all these memes. Down 63%. But then what did it do on the way back up as we were recovering it? It went up 106%. So you're seeing the volatility in these things is something not to play with. And that's why I'm not playing with my money right now. It's going to be interesting to watch the DXY, the DXY here on the monthly chart. As you can see, we topped out last year in September, October. We've fallen off this year. We got a climb the second half of this year, basically August, September, October. But then we had one of our worst months last month. One of the worst months for the DXY that we've had in a long time. Look at what we just did there, about almost 4.5% there for the DXY. Haven't had a month that bad since, well, this one back here last year was about 7% in November of last year. So November last year was 7%. November this year was about 4.5%. That's your DXY dollar index. And you're going to be watching this thing. If this thing continues to fall off, crypto is going to continue to run. Gold and precious metals are going to continue to run. And we are absolutely primed and positioned for that. Now, gold is still above that all-time high level at 2,088 right now. Went all the way up to 2,150, and it's cooled off since. Silver went up to about 26, cooling off 25.5 right now, give or take. We're waiting, though, because silver only went up to $30 in 21 and in 2020. So it double tapped, and it hasn't gone back up since. Gold triple tapped on that level of right up here, about 2,070, 2020, 2020, March of 2022. And then once again in May of this year, we set that all-time high. And then now we've broken through, we've punctured, and we are in price discovery. There's your charts right there. Sorry, right there. 2020, 2022, 2023, all-time high as we speak. Love to see it. Dow Jones all-time high this week. That's the thing, Stuart, is these things, they are ready to go. Let's take a look. They're not far off. They're not far off. This is your S&P 500. And as I was talking about, It already crashed 27%. That was last year. So the Fed raising rates did crash the stock market, right? Down 27% did it. It has since recovered and it's pushing towards new all-time high. We're still, what are we about here? 5% off of all-time high? So we're still 5% away. We might be able to squeeze a little bit more here, but be careful because this is right when that Fed pivot's coming in. And after that first Fed cut, that's when we see the equities market correct. In 2008, S&P 500 corrected 50%. Now the Dow is very close to all-time highs still. Just about 2% away. 2% away from all-time high. So yeah, that's a good point, Stuart. We could see S&P, we could see Dow go back up. NVIDIA already did it. So if NVIDIA is a leading indicator, which it is because it's one of the 7 magnificent 7 stocks that make up the S&P 500, one of the 7 stocks, the whole reason why it's been having such a good year, such a good recovery for the S&P 500. You have to understand, it's not a recovery for the overall economy for Main Street, for sure. I mean, Main Street's suffering big time, but even across the overall economy, it's not good. It's just that you have the magnificent 7 that have been riding the wave of hype on AI, on other things, NVIDIA, and that's what's taken NVIDIA up to another new all-time high just this last month. So NVIDIA topped out in August of this year, and then we just achieved a new all-time high back above 500 again this last month. Right? So how much more do you want to try to squeeze out of this thing before we correct back down in a major way? That's what I'm watching. Now for Coinbase, well, you can see what Coinbase did here this last month. One hell of a month for Coinbase off of the terrible news for Binance. Coinbase taking advantage of that massive rally, about, what are we up? Almost 100%. Coinbase almost doubling in the last month or so. Now, see, Amazon chart is jacked up because they've done so many stock splits. So it's kind of jacked up. This thing used to be a couple thousand per share, or it used to be over 1,000, I believe, at least. I forget what it was, but they've continued to do stock splits, and they did another one in 2022. And I think that they split it like 20 times. So one share, you got split like 28 different times, I believe it was. I was just looking this up yesterday. I'm still learning so much about the stock market and how all this stuff works. I don't pretend to be the stock market guru. I understand cryptocurrencies a lot better. But as I'm finally getting caught up to speed on all this, all these shenanigans that they've been playing, they did the stock split and a bunch of buybacks. And then what was the news that we just got here recently? Jeff Bezos dumping 1 billion of his shares of Amazon. What else are you guys working with in the chat? Thank you everyone for tuning in. I did see that Evergrande was pumping back up. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at our Evergrande. Okay. We're way zoomed out here on the monthly. I need to go back in. Let me fix my chart. Let me go back to the 4-hour. I'd clicked on the Fed funds rate, and then I'd clicked on the reverse repo market, which only show nothing less than 1 month charts. So that's why my chart was all jacked up there. My apologies. Let's see what Evergrande has done here. And maybe let's just go to the daily chart just to get perspective. Evergrande's been having a good little run up here. Okay, this is kind of interesting here for Evergrande. So Evergrande came all the way down here to what? 8 cents. Golly, they really killed this thing out. This was one that I had traded. I sold out my position above what was it, $1? I sold my algo above $1, and I haven't re-entered. I've been waiting to re-enter on this one, and it looks like I might have missed sub 10 cent Algorand unless we get Black Swan again, and then which we very well could. But yeah, we saw that Algorand touched off this level at about 9 cents 4 times, right? Right up here, about 9 cents. So about 4 times that we bounced off this thing. And since then, we have rallied significantly, 81% for Algo. So finally, a little bit of life getting breathed into this one. XLM, another here, you know, and you can see really the volatility on XLM and XRP is it's so much more drastic, right? See, XLM got cleared all the way out to 7 cents. Remember that? I just picked my bag back up at 7 cents. XLM's another one that I had traded out of when XLM was pumping up to about 30 cents and it actually surpassed XRP. That's when I sold off my XLM position and I dumped the whole thing into XRP actually. But since we got 7 cent XLM, this thing, I mean, it did 177% at one time. Really incredible. Okay. But we sit down here at 12 cents right now. It did that run up to about 20 cents, and that was in July of this year. So same exact time after Judge Torres ruled that XRP wasn't a security, XRP pumps up to $1 and XLM pumps up to 20 cents. Now, it's very interesting to watch XRP and XLM moving in tandem always. And what XLM did last bull run, by the way, I got an updated video on Stellar and XLM. It's about to be coming out. You guys aren't going to want to miss this one. If you guys are new here, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, because we covered more than just XRP. We cover more than just crypto. But coming up, I am going to be dropping a Stellar XLM update, and you guys aren't going to want to miss this one. And I'm going to talk about kind of the future price predictions that I have for XLM. And it's incredible when you look at that thing. It went all the way up to $1. It was just shy of $1 during the 2018 bull run when XRP went up to that all-time high, right? And so this is your XLM chart. Let me zoom out. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. It's pretty incredible to see. This is the chart right here. All the way up to $1, January 18th. Same time as XRP. Now, XLM gets snubbed during the last bull run, only up to 80 cents. Now, this is interesting. Let me compare this actually. So it went up to 80 cents for XLM, which is about 16% off of the all-time high. Let's compare that with XRP. Oh, my chart doesn't go back that far. Let me see. Can I pull up another XRP chart that goes back that far? What XRP chart am I using? I'm using Qcoin. I need to use maybe XRP Binance. There we go. Is that it? No. None of these charts are going back far enough. Was it on Bitstamp? No, it wasn't even listed on Coinbase either. See, guys, this is what's so crazy. XRP went to $3.84 without even being listed on Coinbase or any of these major exchanges. It was very hard to find. I'm struggling to find a chart that goes all the way back to 2018. Bitstamp, nope. What the heck? Where can I get it? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because what I can do is I can just do this. I can just do this. How do I, let me, okay. So I just blocked out all my indicators. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So, wait, where did we go for XLM? Why did... Okay. Well, you guys saw what I did there. It was 16%. XLM was 16% away from its all-time high of 2018. Let's see what XRP did, right? Because XRP went up to $3.84 during 2018's bull run. So if we take a look here, take a look at this one with me, right? So we only went up to about $2, right? $2 all the way up to $3.84 is a 96% difference. That's very, very interesting to me, right? When you look at XLM, right? XLM was 16% off of its all-time high in 2021 compared to 18. For XRP, we were, look at it, I have to readjust this chart, 96%. This goes to show you that point right there. This is the first time I've ever looked at this. That XRP was in fact more suppressed than XLM, because XLM, although it was snubbed and it didn't set a new all-time high, it got within 16% of that previous all-time high. XRP was still 100% away. Now, if XRP was only 16% away from the previous all-time high, where would that have taken us? It would have taken us to about $3.30, right? About 16% off the all-time high is down to $3.30. And look at where we went to, all the way down here. We got snubbed on a scale that was over 5 times bigger than what happened with Stellar XLM. They both were suppressed, but XRP even more so. That's the first time I've ever even looked at that TA on a chart. That's incredible. And all the more reason why I'm excited to see us break out to new all-time highs this coming bull run, 2024, and then we finish off into 2025. We get a massive sell-off. We get everyone out. A lot of people are going to sell out completely. A lot of people are going to try to sell out. And then after that, we build a base. And after that, utility is really going to be set free and we get to start building. That's the first time I'd ever looked at that. Now, let's watch this thing closely here, guys. Bitcoin is not done going. As we've been on this live show tonight, the rally has not stopped. See, when Alex Cobb streams, that rally gets killed. I know he mostly streams for XRP. But Cobb is always killing that rally. We don't kill the rally. We keep the rally going over here. That's what happens when you guys smash the thumbs up. That's what happens when you share out the content and you come have a Sunday night party, is we keep the pump going. Shout out to Alex Cobb. I like Cobb. 41,000. Guys, check it out here. We went all the way up to 41,500. Bitcoin is not stopping. This is on Qcoin, by the way. You might be pulling something different on your chart. Stuart, my man, another one. So much love for you, brother. When I come out to Australia, Stuart, we're going to be meeting up and we're going to have ourselves a little adult beverage, aren't we? We're going to have ourselves a little bit of fun. Stuart says, you're one of the very few that is part of the solution, Zach. Be proud, bro. I appreciate you, Stuart. That's what motivates me to keep showing up. Gentlemen like yourself, the folks in our community, the stories that I hear every single day, the continued focus, development, and building. Not just, oh, I'm stacking a little crypto, but no, I'm starting my side hustle. I got a business. I'm doing real estate. I've stacked my precious metals. I'm getting my health in check. Whatever it may be, right? I'm here to inspire you guys to take massive action during these times, to step forward, not in fear, but based in faith and with conviction in the decisions that you are making, with the understanding that we will have hiccups, we will take some L's, but that doesn't mean that we will fail. We turn those setbacks into learning lessons and we use it to grow and expand what we're already building. This is why I love this community so much. You guys are here with me on a Sunday Night Live. We're still here. The XRP community is not going away. I've been live for almost 2 hours. I could go live for another 2 hours if I wanted to. But I probably should go watch a movie with wifey or something, huh? Probably should go spend my Sunday night with the wifey, huh? But you guys inspire me with your energy, the fact that you guys still show up. You guys have been showing me support all through this bear market, and it's mutual. It's back and forth. And what I'm looking forward to is we already have 3 meetups planned for next year. I wish I could make it to Australia, to the Gold Coast conference. Excuse me. I wish that I could make it down there because Australia looks fun. It does look crazy though. I feel like I need to have some serious security with me down in Australia for the gators. Or what do you guys have? You guys have everything down there. You got monster spiders, snakes, kangaroos. I mean, what the heck? We got to watch out for kangaroos when we come down there. And we got to watch out for you crazy XRP community members down there in Australia. So much love for you guys. I wish I could make it to the Gold Coast. We'll be coming down to Australia eventually, though. But we already got 3 Discord meetups planned for this coming year. That's just to get started. We're actually going to be doing more on top of that as well. But the opportunity to connect in person, because I don't view you guys just as my followers. I view this as a community of like-minded individuals. And I don't need to be the smartest in the room. I don't need to be the guru. I just keep it real with you guys. You keep it real with me. And there's a mutual respect that together we are going to learn and we're going to take advantage of this opportunity. Now, does that mean that we're all going to agree on every single issue, that our portfolios are going to be the same? Absolutely not. And that's what I love about this community, is that there's a lot of folks that are starting to respect why we've been talking about an exit strategy. If you need, selling off XRP, selling off a portion of your bag at $10 is going to pay off your mortgage or get you out of student loan debt because, Biden gets shut down by the Supreme Court. It's just so funny to me. Your student loan might not be forgiven, so you might have to sell some XRP to pay it back. I shouldn't be laughing, but this is real life. And this is what I'm talking about, is you got to have respect for those that have different strategies for XRP than you. It doesn't mean that they don't believe in XRP. It just means that, hey, I don't want to have stress that's going to kill me if the mortgage over your head is burdening you, if the credit card debt, if the student loan debt, if whatever it may be, you get to quit the job that you hate. That's what I'm excited for our community, is this bull run will accomplish that. This bull run, let me be very clear. This bull run, in my opinion, doesn't build and secure wealth for everyone. It is going to be building steps, it is going to be stepping stones towards building that wealth, but you're going to need to have the right plan in place to execute a strategy to take the gains from XRP, to take the gains from crypto and reallocate it to real estate, reallocate it to business, reallocate it to equity, to reallocate it to private equity, to reallocate it to your business that you're going to start. Because you're going to see that it's going to get shaky. We're going to have highs and lows, right? XRP runs back up. It's going to be mania. Exchanges are going to be crashing. We're probably going to break Twitter when XRP goes to all-time high. Maybe that's a little dramatic, but you guys get the point, right? It's going to be intense. You're not going to know what to do. You're going to be tuning into my live show with an O face, losing your mind, not knowing whether to sell, what to do. We're all going to be just freaking out. And what I am going to do, and what I hope that you guys can do, is have fun during that live stream party, because we're going to turn up. It's going to be a lot of fun. But then also go to your exit strategy and execute without emotion, without getting caught up in the mania and saying, no, I'm going to sell off my little, I'm going to sell off 10% at $10. I'm just throwing that out there. Or someone's going to sell half their bag at $10. Whatever it's going to be. I just want you to have conviction in that move. I don't want you to be making that move based off of external factors that aren't related to your investment thesis in XRP. What I mean by that is folks that are so caught up in the events around us, the bad situation taking place, that they have to sell off their XRP because they get so caught up in that FUD, in that uncertainty, in that fear. They tune into that lower vibration, literally tune into a lower vibration, get so caught up in fear that instead of, they were going to sell 10% of their bag, but now they get worried and then they end up selling their whole bag at $10. This is what I worry about, right? It's not just folks that aren't going to sell off anything. It's folks that are going to sell off too much. And that's why I say, no matter what your plan is, I want you to have conviction as we roll into this next bull run, because it's like, we've been working towards this for years in the XRP community, right? And we got completely snubbed. And this is why folks have adjusted their plan, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. They've made a move. And all I ask is that you have conviction when you hit that sell button. And for me, what I'm looking at is, okay, at $10, I can sell off a portion of my bag. At what price point am I going to feel comfortable buying that bag back? Because I know, I don't think in terms of, okay, I need this much cash. I mean, I do. That's how you conduct your exit strategy. So I do think in those terms, but I also think about how much XRP do I want to hold on to long term? Do I want a couple hundred XRP? Do I want a few thousand XRP? Do I need 1 million XRP? Somewhere in between. I know how much XRP I want. And so even though I'm considering selling some on this bull run, I'm already thinking about at what price point am I going to feel comfortable buying some of that XRP back potentially, right? Or maybe I've stacked way more XRP over the last couple years during this bear market. I reached a target that I didn't think I was going to be able to achieve before XRP went to the moon. So my bag has adjusted a lot, and I've had to adjust my exit strategy based off that. I didn't think that I would have this much XRP going into this bull run before XRP went to a new all-time high. So with that additional XRP comes an adjustment in the exit strategy. And so maybe I won't have to buy any XRP back because I'll still be able to sell off some and still hold on to enough that I can sleep peacefully at night, knowing that I'm still an XRP whale. And I plan on being an XRP whale for a very long time to come. And the utility on top of the institutional money, on top of the legal clarity, is the best place to be. With that being said, there's so much pent up demand for selling off XRP that it's going to be shaky. It's going to be violent. And that's what I try to prepare our community for. And we're so close right now. Guys, like $1 XRP. I know it's a joke. Everybody's making fun of us. Every video that I post, the comments, there's all sorts of them. XRP will never hit $1. XRP will never hit all-time high. I hate you, Zach. You suck. All of it. All of it. That's fine. I'm still buying. That's fine. I'm still holding. I'm not changing. We're still doing other things other than just stacking XRP. So the strategy isn't just stack XRP and pray. It's stack XRP, stack our silver, stack a few other cryptos, look at private equity deals, build a real estate investment portfolio, stack our precious metals, build a real business, spend time with the family, take time to ground, take time to turn off Twitter. I'm trying to front run. I'm not waiting for a New Year's resolution. I'm trying to, we've been talking about getting tapped in with our health right now. We're entering cold and flu season. We want to build up that immune system, but then also just be tapped in on the health level as well too. Health is another part of that wealth, pillar of wealth that we're trying to build. And for me, it's not something that I really like talking about. I don't really like spending time on health. I'd rather talk about money. It excites me a lot more. But without that health, we can't build our wealth. And so that's why for our community, I love to see. I get to listen to others that are more intelligent, that have more research and evidence on health than I do. It's one of those areas where I get to sit back and just learn from other people that are smarter than me. And that's what I find is the strength in our community comes from that diversification and folks that understand all of the levels. And I see it in our community here on YouTube. You know, as someone who started on TikTok, it was incredible the change that I saw when I went from TikTok to YouTube. The maturity level. TikTok was crazy, still is. And I got over 300,000 followers on TikTok. That's an incredible platform that I'll always be thankful for. But in late 2021 and into 2022, I started to push my YouTube hard and I really started to move over here. And the level of conversation over on YouTube here is incredible. And I see you guys in the comments and you guys are tapped in, as someone commented earlier, growing their own food, understanding how to process your food, how to preserve it, doing our education system. Even if you don't homeschool your child, maybe you're getting them exposure to other things with extracurricular activities, right? Maybe you do homeschool your kids. Maybe you're getting your kids involved in your business. I'm hearing stories like this. And let me share this story here. Stuart, another 50 spot. I might have to buy this XRP you talk of, Zach. Stuart, you're crazy, bro. Stuart, you're crazy, man. In the land down under. I wanted to share this story, though. We have one of our community members shared this with us this weekend. And this is just as important as someone telling me that they bought a crypto and made some money as this story right here. One of our community members shared how they were able to lock in and negotiate a lower interest rate. And I forget what it was. It was like 6%. So you guys saw it. Mortgage rates have gone all the way up to 8%. Now they're back down to about 7.25%. But this community member, he was able to go and work with the banks. And as I've been talking about, these bankers are desperate. Do not be intimidated by these bankers. These bankers are here to work for you. It's not the other way around. As most people think, they pull up to the bank. They're all scared. They're always, caught up with their money problems. And they're always asking the bank, they're scared to give them money. No, the bank wants to give you money if you can bring them a good business plan, if you can bring them a good opportunity, they're willing to work. And so one of our community members shared that they were able to lock in an interest rate at well below the median mortgage rate that you're seeing right now. I think it was about 6% is what he said. And this type of deal making, this type of negotiation gets me just as excited as someone telling me that they made some money on a Jesus coin pump or on XRP pumping. This is just as important. Going to the table with your banker across the table and you present your deal and you're able to secure it. Now, this was just on his main residence where this person lives. But as I've been saying, if you have liquidity, capital, and you're willing to bring a real deal to the table, these guys are begging for your business, right? So the mortgage loan industry right now is in contraction. A lot of these folks are actually getting out of the business completely. I'm talking about tens of thousands of mortgage brokers and lenders that are leaving the field completely on a month after month basis right now. I'm not just saying that, it's actually happening. They went from a peak mortgage demand, mania, crazy, the cheapest money that we've had in the history of the United States, and that's why it got so crazy. And then the Fed rug pulled us at the fastest pace in history. And who got impacted first? It was these mortgage originators, these loan originators. And so you're seeing them leave completely. You're seeing banks, lenders shut down completely. And especially right now, if you can pull up to these bankers right now towards the end of the year, their bonuses are based off of how many deals they get done. This is deal-making season right here, baby. Let's go. Pull up to them. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't take much to dominate the transaction. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. These guys, they're no different than you. And you'd be surprised at some of these guys, the poor financial decisions that some of them have made. The guys that are in charge of giving you a loan, the poor financial decisions that they've found themselves in. Now, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure tonight. We've gone live here for about 2 hours. It's been an absolute pleasure. I have so much love for all of you guys in the chat. If you guys are looking to connect with our community, it's over at my website, zachrector.com. Sign up through Patreon to get access to Discord. And right now, we are running a special through the end of the year. Save 13% on your membership when you sign up for a 1-year deal. Sign up for 1 year, save 13%. And also check it out. If you're looking to line up a one-on-one session with me, we have those available right now. That will be getting cut off here shortly as our schedule fills up. We can only do so many of them, and then we have to build out the waiting list again. So we've been building out the waiting list. Right now, we are scheduling the one-on-ones, and as long as I have openings on my calendar, we're still going to line them up until we get too full, and then we will be cutting that off once again. So that has been in high demand all year long. I haven't offered any one-on-ones all year other than to some of my Discord members. Now, I am firing up the one-on-one sessions here once again temporarily. We'll see how many we can handle, but the schedule is already filling up quick. So take advantage of that while that lasts. And then on top of that, you guys already know the deal. We have been partnering up with Precious Metals affiliates to get you guys the metals in your hands, or if you want to roll over the 401k retirement account. And then also, by the way, I'm going to be dropping, what do I have? I have 4 boxes over in the corner of my office right now on new merch. And so I'm going to be putting out a separate video on that. I'll do an unboxing here. I just got some new merch in, but I have now 2 affiliates, I believe, for crypto gear. Go to my website at zachrector.com and go to the crypto gear tab, and you can find some of the updated. We got some fresh merch coming your way, and I'm proud we now have 2 affiliates that we're working with to bring you guys some of the best stuff for repping the XRP army and other digital asset crypto gear. So take a look at that. It is a way to support the show. I greatly appreciate everyone for stopping by here tonight. On the way out, if you haven't already, please make sure that you like this video. If you can do me a big favor, share our content out far and wide. We got a big week ahead of us, and so make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be back at you tomorrow. I appreciate everyone. Hope you have a blessed Sunday, and God bless you all.